You are all looking great. So how do we put each other on? We put each other on by making sure that we support each other, right? So just before I start, maybe just stand, please, if you don't mind. How does it feel? Yeah, please stand. You feel nice. Eh? Sorry, sit. You feel nice, eh? So you cannot lead anybody if you don't love yourself and lead yourself, right? So, thank you. Which is the topic of my conversation today. So I am Thabo Molefe. I hail from Gauteng, both Mutshudi and Boka. I have got a Master's in Science in Change Management and Leadership from the University of Metropolitan Leeds. I've got an undergrad in Business Administration with a specialization in marketing from the University of Botswana. I was in corporate for a good solid 15 years. I've worked for most companies that you know, including Stanbic Bank. I've built all the sales models for Stanbic Bank, Barclays Bank, and First National Bank, including Barclays Bank, which is the now ABSA. And that spanned over 15 years. So if I believe at the age of 27, I was already the head of sales for FNB. So at the age of 32, I retired from corporate world. So I've been an entrepreneur for almost 10 years now. And in that entrepreneurship journey, I've created several companies, including Earth Vitamins, if you've known a company called Earth Vitamins. If you've been on Air Botswana, the biltong you eat on Air Botswana is an Earth Vitamins product. The meat you eat from Bobrai Place, those are an Earth Vitamins product. Grand Palm, Sycad Hospitality Group, Distinction Boutique, all those are Earth Vitamins products. We created this business to be a platform, commercial platform for farmers in this country because they do not get a fair share of their dealings, right? So we need companies that are drawn by Botswana, that work for Botswana. So we've created Earth Vitamins, and I think in the past 10 years, we've probably spent almost 10 million directly on farmers. I'm also, my other company is called Earth Training and Consultancy, where we do a lot of change management training, these kind of speaking engagements and things like that. We are trying to change the trajectory of Botswana and Botswana, one person at a time. I'm hoping that in this room today, we're going to get a bit of change. Earth Tone Civil, I build roads also, and things like that. And I have a company called Silverpack Investments, which is basically an investment company. So when I saw this PutYouthOn, so I took my children for holiday just 3 weeks ago. We drove about 4,000 kilometers to the Western Cape and all those things. And that's when you get to understand what's going on in the youth world. I'm not a youth, unfortunately, by government's definition. But by my definition, I believe I'm still a youth. So my young child, my middle child is 13 and my eldest is 19. So the young one tells me, Daddy, the boys at school, every time I post my sister, the 19-year-old, she's doing Form 1. She says, man, come on, put me on with your sister. so I'm asking, so your classmates wants a sugar mommy in Layak. So when I see this PutYouthOn, that's what comes to my mind. Put me on with your sister. And unfortunately, that is where we are as a nation. We are an overly hypersexualized nation. And that thing is going to our youth, and those are the things that gather in our thoughts and all those things. I'm hoping that we are going to change. Because look, We are in competition with other nations. The Indians in this country are successful. The Chinese in this country are successful. The white people in this country are successful. The Jews in this country are successful. And you don't see them at the clubs, right? They've got children and youth your age. Where are they? They're busy learning and they're focused. They're leading themselves. So, Setswana sa reng bagaetsho? Can you read that for me? We are so fortunate to come from a rich culture. Yes, Tswana. And Tswana is about leadership. So, nobody is going to come out from anywhere and lead you. You need to lead yourself. And the first person to lead is you. Then you can lead others, right? So I've been a leader most of my life. And I believe in giving people a platform to express themselves. So what is positive self-leadership? Refers to the capacity to identify and apply one's signature strength to initiate, maintain, or sustain self-influencing behaviors. Because we know what's right and we know what's wrong. Right? So, self-leadership's early definition was based on 3 central theories, which are self-control, social cognitive theory, and self-determination. It's straightforward. I'm not going to get into it. I need you to read that for yourselves because I only have 20 minutes. Normally, I need 2 hours, Nandipa. And so thank you, by the way, to Put Youth On for the opportunity for me to share my thoughts. I don't take that for granted. I speak in many different forums. As you know, I'm also, in the board of Botswana Digital and Innovation Hub, where we do a lot of work there. So I get to speak in many different forums, but this particular one is crucial because we can only achieve our mandates if our youth are focused and know where they're going. So self-control is synonymous with self-management and self-regulation. And describes the interactive process of determining a desired end state. Have you seen Masole Agam Mama Sadinyana, the Royal Guard? Have you seen those guys? When it's raining, when the sun is shining, the guy is steadfast. And the same guy has issues in his life. You know, baby mama didn't come home the previous night, whatever, there's storms in their lives. But because they've got self-control and they're focused, they go to work and they have tunnel vision. And they sit there, provocatively, whatever, but the guy is focused. What kind of a mind does that person have? Do you have an ability as a leader to have self-control and self-management and regulate yourself? So, positive self-leadership, there's a model. There's models for everything. So you'd find in my, my bachelor's, there's Johari window. If you look at marketing models that are out there, what is Johari window? It's pure nonsense. You know, Johari window, you understand? So marketing and sales is based Mobotombaswan. But because we detest our own culture, we go and consume what is coming from the West when we've had it in our fingertips. Right? Botobaswan. Culture is everything. Hobomot, where you come from is everything. But we are busy deserting our culture. But our culture is our identity. So can we self-lead ourselves back into our culture? So that's, character strength. You don't need to be taught to have a great character. You know that thing used to grow wild everywhere when we grew up. And, you know, but we shunned it, right? Shana, you don't want to drink it. You feel worry. It's not on, you know. It's not had the demure. It's not demure, yeah? But now the white people came, you don't see it anyway. They took it, went to their labs, put it in pill forms. Now it's back. And we are drinking, we feel it's demure. You understand? And that's billions. If you look at the health industry, those are billions that could be coming back into this country and helping us. The quota system was stolen by the Swiss government and has been used in their justice systems. Do you see how brilliant our people are without education? I can go on and on and on and on and on. So, you know, all of that, I'm not going to really get into all of those things, but I will speak about high quality connections. So your network is your net worth. Your connections, how you connect with people. Do you leave an everlasting impression on people? Has made, I mean, you know, I speak of all the companies I've worked for and whatever, all the business I'm in now. I've just created another business. It's called 38 on Boulders and Find 38. You must take your girlfriends and boyfriends to the fine restaurant that we've created in Setloa. It's for fine dining, the only fine dining in the country. So, and all these things, like even the jobs. I applied for the jobs and I interviewed and I got them. I wasn't put on by anybody, you know what I mean? Because I know that how I interact with people is very important, and I've got reference points, you know what I mean? So that is important from a self-leadership perspective. Come on, guys. Can we get back to our culture? Setswana, and you know what? We can commercialize this, eh? Right now we are drinking Chinese green tea. Do you know that's Chinese traditional medicine? You'll be in a restaurant, can I have some green tea with honey? But you won't drink monepenep. You know what I mean? You sit in a restaurant, can I have some monepenep with honey? You know what I mean? And these are billions. We can sell this out there in the world. So self-leadership is about recognizing and going back to your culture by yourself. Okay? What this means is, so if you know, in the olden days, we used to have crawls, or we still do actually, crawls. So when the termites or whatever destroy that crawl, you don't necessarily take out that one. You just put new stuff. So there's a gap between the youth and the old generation right now. So there's no handover. Nobody's understanding each other, right? So you need to understand that we have a country that we need to live with you. There's a country, if things go the way they go, it's going to go into foreigners' hands. You understand? So self-leadership is about understanding that. You reach out to principles and things that have been existed, you understand them, and then you come up with your own. I mean, right now we are speaking the fourth industrial revolution. We are speaking AI. In fact, through my consultancy company, I'm bringing the first ever AI African conference from a traditional perspective. So Africa has an issue of getting hand-me-downs. Hand-me-downs. Just this morning, my daughter was wearing her sister's pants. So you are wearing lion's pants. I don't know, Daddy, this is our pants. It's my hand-me-down. So, and Botswana are synonymous, and I hope that you break this chain as you lead yourself. There's a lot of silo mentality that is stemming up from Botswana due to the capitalist system. That is not who we are. Agar khomuza mafisa, khomuza mafisa. Who knows? And so. You see, it's a disaster, guys. This is a disaster. So, the Setswana culture, where it comes from, nobody went hungry. Setswana culture. Agar. In fact, meaning that if your neighbor doesn't have cattle or anything like that, you give him a cow or a cattle, so he milks it and all those things. It provides, you understand? So you've borrowed somebody to make a livelihood and feed themselves. So we have never a silo mentality. What else? Well done, guys. Clap yourself. Clap. Well done. So, no self-preservation. We have a big issue that these days is about me first. I choose me. Choose me. Choose day. Choose me. Choose me. How do you choose yourself when we are a whole community? That is why we are not the finances are with the other nations, because they are a community. Their work is about community. In fact, they've got huge houses. So now you are going to build that huge house, only one man. But it's a bunch of families together. So we need to go back to the basics. You understand? No pull him down syndrome. You pull Boloi. It's alive. Boloi is no longer just that flying on a broom. It's in the heart. So leading yourself is about when you know that is where you are going. Mindset change. I'm not going to get into that too much, but the president is onto something, okay? He's onto something. There's a big issue with implementation, but he's onto something. Okay? I actually stole this from where Nandi Pine team saw me, because I did this presentation. I was a guest speaker at the Bika conference, alongside JJ Tabane. But I would negli buelel, basically. Youth should be participating in the economy now, not in the future, now. And I was showing why and how, and this is what it's all about. I believe that the best way to teach a baby how to swim is to throw them in the pool, to swim with the sharks. Okay? And I went on technically about how we must do that. Bucket youths, we must have youths. We've got strategies across all of those things. I can give you 20 minutes. Yeah, no, I can't stay. And this is the crying shame. So you guys are 70% of the population, right? But 70% of the population is not making 70% of decisions, right? So that is a disaster. So you guys need to stand up and start speaking boldly and confidently, because you understand yourself, you've led yourself, right? So all of that, I won't get into it also. So youth, you stand in a time where the echoes of our past, of our decisions, have come face to face with the potential of the future. Right now in Kenya, there was a disaster, just Maloba. The youth said enough is enough. But it was also bottled up unguided energy. Okay? There was a better way to express it. And that's being informed, taking accountability, being in your own sector and say, I'm not just going to stay home. I'm going to get a security guard job. And because I'm not at home, I'm going to be so good at it that somebody's going to see me. My first job after my Form 5 results was a shelf packer at Family Grocer. You know what shelf packing did for me? It exposed me to a lot of people. You understand? And my career in sales and marketing spanned from the shelf packing position. So a lot of people started from being petrol attendants, all those things. But there's a lot of jobs. I know that. I'm an employer. But people are not serious. You know, thank you. Youth is not managing itself to be serious. You understand? It's toxic culture. Man, toxicity is there everywhere. You must use it to build yourself. Some of us, we've been told things by our former bosses. Made you tough. I'm a tough boy right now. I'm dealing with things that I'm dealing with. A lot of people would have died. I'm telling you. I'm tough. And but tough, but you understand? So we are fortunate that we grew up in a time also when you had to you were thrown at the farm. And your mom and dad have forgotten about you for a month. And when you come back from the farm, you are like as black as coal. And you have to even your mother, you understand? So that thing toughened us. So whenever I am in the world and I'm having engagements, my presence in that room is as equal as anybody that I find in that room. I have no issues of confidence. I have no issues at all. I demand to get the things that I want. And the world will try you. It will try and kill you. But it's solid inside of here. You understand? I'm solid because my tunnel vision, my speaking to myself is positive. It's everything. Because it starts here in your head. The role of, you need to gain confidence. Have you seen that little Thabo boy? That confidence. He didn't win because he's the fastest guy. He won because he believed. It's like Mosadio Natsara, the garment, but if I can just touch this man, I will be healed. You understand? Because it's that confidence and faith to know that if I touch his garment, I will be healed. So you need to gain confidence and understand that this is your time. And that comes with the way you speak to yourself. When you wake up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror, smile and say, you know, you are the greatest human being in this world. Because the world will try you. I mean, some of us I'm at court. I don't even hire lawyers anymore. I do it myself to defend myself. At any time, I'm either suing or I'm being sued. Okay? So, you need to be tough, guys. Face reality. It's a tough world. You understand? It's a tough world, and you need to suck it up and soberly face the future. And it comes from inside. And be technical. Understand what issues are. If you don't understand it, like I am not a very technical person. I can talk. Like even my consultancy business, I don't know how to put these nice presentations together. I had to hire for that. Because I understand how you need to technically understand issues. We're in the world of data, information, and all those things. And understand issues of where they're coming from and how they are responsible in the incorporation of them into today's world, whilst not messing up with cultural norms and practices. Can we go back to who we are? We are a beautiful nation. We are beautiful people. I mean, I fight my kids all the time. Like one has taken up French. What is this thing? What is this thing? But because you know, as nernale se raw part. Se raw part. It's just a raw part again. No negotiation. You are doing this. Hey, that's who we were. So this basically means is the older folks must also have respect for the younger folks. Because it's an opinion and we build a nation through that kind of understanding. Okay? So there's 8 core competencies in self-leadership. It's self-awareness and self-knowledge, right? Ikitse. What is our national identity called? Identity card. That is powerful, isn't it? Omang. Who am I? Because a lot of you surprise yourselves. Yeah, I mean, I'm 43 now, but I think I only started knowing myself at 40. You know? So next time I go to Botsa, introspect, don't just raise your hands, because do you know who you are? It's a deep question. Lots of you don't even know your family tree. And I say before you marry her, check if she knows her family tree. Before you say yes to him, check his background. Because a lot of you are doing lovey-dovey and pity-pat and butterflies, but you don't even know who that person is, because you also don't know yourself. That is why we must bring back arranged marriages. Because you guys are failing. We are failing. We need a matchmaking exercise. Yes, Chuan. You are going for baddies. If there's such a thing. Okay? Identify desired experience. What do you want to get out of life? Self. Constructive thought and decision making. Have focus. Think about things and make decisive decisions and stick to them. He said, Mr. Mfa talked about working now and having done work. Look, I got into business, I knew that for 10 years. I left a plum job, and I knew for 10 years I'm going to suffer. And I knew that there's going to be disasters in my life, okay? Because entrepreneurship has a mempe. It's a tough journey. It's a tough environment. It's not chema. Chema, it's nice when you start. But now you get to the real thick of things and you start losing things. You lose relationships. But your mind has to be steady. Morana Jeso, nakongwe, ale mose kepeng, holeli tsubu. Again, what happened? But why are you waking me up? Where's your faith? Where's your faith? Okay? Optimizing motivation, harnessing the ecosystem, networking, amplifying performance, improving, and cultivating gift. Understand that no one is coming to save you except for yourself. The future belongs to those willing to sacrifice themselves. Bosololo. Right now in Ukraine, people are dying in the front lines. They're sacrificing themselves. Well, now what are you doing? We're on TikTok watching Pori every day. What are you doing to sacrifice yourself? Understand your culture. It's a unique identity. When you're in London, that's who you are, right? And reach out to the old for advice while you teach them new ways. The world economy is reacting towards AI and efficiency with digitalization. Let us lead the world.
And we are on. This is our first ever Put Youth On event. It's called Youth Leadership Workshop. And I'm here today with Thabo Molefe. He just gave an amazing presentation. And sir, thank you for coming, and we truly appreciate. What made you accept our invitation?
Because youth is the now, so we have to be in a space where we are supportive of the youth, because our country depends on it. Yeah, we need to be in a space where we share our experiences and build each other, so that we are keeping this country intact in terms of the future.
Yes, sir. And in your experience, like looking at the youth today versus when you are coming up, what's the contrast that you've observed? Because in the presentation you mentioned how relatively soft we are and compared to you guys.
Well, I would say that I think it's a function of years passing by. The major difference, I think, is the ability to sacrifice oneself for community. Today's world is more about self-centered more than how we grew up. So we need to get back to who we are. And our roots as Botswana and Botswana are about coming together to achieve common goals.
Yeah, and You mentioned ka susu something. Yeah, ne Setswana sang shankudisa bogolo thata re bua ka diane, and what does that seane mean? And why did you choose it?
Susu ilela suswana gore susu e go ilela. Le ke buile di le mmalwanyana ke batlo bua sona hela. Ke buile bo more mogolo go betla wa taola wa motho wa ipetla. You know, so as we speak about the future of our country, and as we try and get people to understand that there's the youth, there's the adults in one country, how do we build the ecosystem in such a way that we can all grow together? As much as we want the youth to be respectful, we also need the adults to really be respectful towards the youth and understanding, so that together we can build the country. So that is why I chose them. And you know, we are speaking on self-leadership. So self-leadership is also about that ability. So, you know, and all those Setswana acronyms are very important for our culture.
All right. Now, the last question would be, what are 2 traits that you find essential for the upcoming leaders should have?
An ability to sacrifice oneself is not negotiable, because for you to be a leader, you cannot think of yourself first. And then the second one is resilience, ability to go through the storms of life, because there will be storms of life. So you need to be steady and focused in terms of all those storms.
All right, now with that being said, thank you for giving us your time, and we truly appreciate. And we hope to see you at the next event.
Thank you very much. PutYouthOn, you are doing a fantastic job. But Botswana youth, we must move away from the drinking and all those things and move towards creating events like these ones. Thank you.
And it's a wrap.